Here are the cast and the characters they play. Louis Scott as Kamal Chanak. Moan, heir to a wealthy hotel owner. He is a wealthy, carefree, frivolous and childish guy who is not serious in anything he does, and has no goals in life. At home he is treated like a prince, and has no interest to assist his mother run the family hotel despite being appointed as its managing director. He meets a girl, Thongtra, by chance, and hasn't been able to get her off his mind since. Thongtra happens to be the sister of his good friend, Thong Tu. He makes it his goal to get closer to Thongtra and eventually win her over. He intends to pose as a poor man to test whether she is a gold digger. Meanwhile, Thong Tu asks for his help in finding a servant for his mother to ease her burden. However, instead of searching for one, he runs into Thongtra again, asks her to recommend him to her mother. When he learns that Thongtra's mother is unwilling to hire a male servant in order to protect her daughter, he pretends to be a sissy gay to persuade her to hire him. After lying to her about being an ex-chef, she eventually agrees to hire him as a cook. He is serious in pursuing Thongtra, and is willing to forego his lavish lifestyle to work and live in her house while tolerating her mother's frequent grumblings. He buys a house opposite Thongtra's and employs a few chefs there. He goes to the market with Thongtra, but never cooks himself. Instead, his chefs prepare the food and deliver it discreetly to him. Meanwhile, his mother is upset with him for going missing from home and repeatedly ignores her pleas to help run their hotel. After his mother takes away all his perks, he realizes that he must take his life more seriously, and agrees to return to work in the hotel. He confesses to his mother his seriousness with Thongtra, and requests her to employ Thongtra as his secretary. In the office he is addressed as Kamon Shanak, Kamon. While he is at work, he has one of his chefs impersonate him in Thongtra's house. At work, he transforms himself from a sissy and unkempt guy, into a suave and stern corporate man. As Moan, the servant, he confesses his love to Thongtra, but she shrugs it off as impossible because he is gay. Despite this, their relationship becomes closer but only as sisters. He does not feel comfortable when his ex-girlfriend, Kay, unexpectedly appears in his office, and wishes to rekindle their relationship. He expresses his feelings to Thongtra, but she only sees him as her boss. He is aware that Thongtra has feelings for him as Moan, but he tries to win her over as Kamon. As Moan, he informs her of his intention to resign as her house servant because he feels it's time for him to end his game. He wants her to reconcile with her mother and forget him. It is only then Thongtra shows her affection for him, but their affair is discovered by Thongtra's mother, who is vehemently opposed to her daughter dating a poor servant. She kicks him out of the house. He asks her to listen to her mother and accept Kamon because he believes Kamon is the right man for her. As Kamon, after relentless efforts and overcoming obstacles from his ex-girlfriend, Kay, he eventually wins Thongtra's heart as well as her hand in marriage. However, just as he is preparing to marry Thongtra, his secret impersonation of Moan is exposed. Ranita Tekazit Preem as Thongtra, a recent graduate in public relation. She is an obedient child, who is strictly controlled by her mother, especially in regards to relationship with men. Her goal in life is to please her parents and provide them a good life, and she is presently looking for a job. She catches the attention of Kamon the first time they meet. When she runs into him again, she finds him annoying. Unbeknownst to her, he likes her and is trying to get closer to her. Kamon, who hides his wealthy identity and poses as a waiter, plots an act to dupe her into believing that she has caused him to lose his job. She feels sorry for him and recommends him to her mother to work as a servant in her house. At home, she is always on Moan's side when her mother treats him unfairly. She gradually realizes that Moan is not the man she believes he is, but rather a nice person, and she begins to like him. When Moan confesses his feelings for her, she does not take it seriously, and tells him that she only regards him as her sister, but would probably fall for him if he were a real man. She gets a job as Kamon's secretary, but she has no idea that the person she works for is the same person who works in her house. She is initially suspicious after noticing that her boss resembles her servant at home, but she eventually accepts that they are two different people, because Moan is always at home. She is unaware her servant at home is actually Kamon. Meanwhile, her ex-boyfriend, Base, reappears and wants to rekindle their relationship. Although she is not ready to accept him, she doesn't rule out the possibility in the future. At work, she wins the approval of Kamon's mother, who admires her for her kindness and efficiency, as well as taking good care of Kamon when he falls ill. Although she is being pursued by two rich men, Kamon and Base, she is annoyed when they try to win her heart with their wealth. She prefers Moon, her gay servant, over them. At the same time, her close working relationship with her boss piques the jealousy of both her ex-boyfriend, Base, and her boss's ex-girlfriend, Kay, both of whom want to rekindle their relationships with their former partners. When Moon informs her that he is quitting and leaving her house, she is upset and sad. She eventually expresses her feelings to him while being consoled by him. When her mother discovers her affair with Moon, she is severely reprimanded by her. She tries to convince her mother that she loves Moon for who he is, and does not care about him being a poor servant, but this enrages her mother even more. Simultaneously, Kamon continues to try to win her heart, but she is unmoved by him, and is still unaware that Kamon and Moon are the same person. After Moon deliberately breaks her heart, and informs her that he is leaving for overseas, she eventually decides to open her heart to Kamon and agree to marry him. Just as her relationship with Kamon appears to be going well, she encounters a misfortune, and she is further touched by Kamon, when he risks his life to save her. She feels betrayed and cheated by Kamon, however, after learning and being convinced by her brother, that Kamon and Moon are the same person. Boramwati Haranyatithi Mik as Thongtu, brother of Thongtra. He and Kamon are good friends who go clubbing and drinking together regularly. Despite his frequent bickering and arguments with Kamon, their friendship is too strong to be shaken, and they always end up joking and hugging each other. He seeks Kamon's help in finding a servant for his mother to alleviate her burden at home. He is shocked, however, when he learns that instead of finding a servant, Kamon not only works as one in his house, but has turned himself into a sissy man. Although he is very close to Moon, he doesn't like seeing him being close to his sister, Thongtra, because he is well aware of the type of person Moon is. His displeasure, however, always fades after somebody talks with Moon. He agrees to Moon's request not to expose his real self to his family. To conceal Moon's true identity, he always meets and talks with him in discreet at home. His father discovers their secret meetings and suspects that he and Moon are having a gay relationship. Duang Tatong Kamani took as Thongmuan, mother of Thongtu and Thongtra. She is the loud, frugal, and greedy head of her family's household, in charge of the finances, and overly protective of her daughter, Thongtra. She hopes Thongtra gets a good job and marries a wealthy man. To save money, she subjects everyone in her family to eat vegetables all the time, and enforces strict utility usage. She is reluctant to hire another servant, but her son, Thongtu, insists that she do so in order to lighten her load. She constantly complains, gives her new cook, Moon, very little money to prepare daily meals, and deducts money from his already meager salary whenever he violates her rules. She freaks out when Moon serves her family a gourmet menu and insists on deducting his salary to pay for it, because she is unaware that the food is prepared by Moon's chefs. Her grouses, however, turn to delight as she happily enjoys the food, more than anyone else in her family. She stops questioning Moon as long as he sticks to her budget. She is overjoyed when Thongtra's ex-boyfriend, Base, who she once chased away because he was poor, reappears as a wealthy man and wishes to reunite with her daughter. She does, however, encourages Thongtra to date Kamon, after learning that Kamon is even wealthier than Base. She catches Moon leaving her daughter's room by chance and is enraged. She reprimands Thongtra severely for choosing a poor servant over the wealthy Kamon. She accuses Moon of being a gold digger, and kicks him out from the house. Robert Kepides Haranyasp Tun as Ranahute, father of Thongtu and Thongtra. He is a henpecked husband who allows his wife to make most household decisions. He puts up with her frugalness and grumbles, because he understands she is this way because of her difficult past. He is not allowed to leave the house without his wife's permission, and he only eats food that she approves of. He suspects his son, Thongtu, of being Moon's gay lover after observing them acting strangely in private. His suspicion is heightened by the fact that his servant, Kamlai, also shares the same accounts. At the same time, he notices Moon becoming more intimate with his daughter, Thongtra, and suspects he likes her as well. He quietly observes Moon after learning that he resembles his daughter's boss. Unlike the rest of his family, he is wary of Moon even after he has left the house. He keeps his suspicions to himself even when Kamon asks for his hand in marriage to Thongtra. He is not opposed to Kamon marrying his daughter, but reminds him to always be honest with her. Savitri Samipak. Tong. As Kanjana, mother of Kamal Kanak, hotel CEO. She is the CEO of a hotel who appoints her only child Kamon to be the hotel's managing director in the hope he will help her in running it. However, she is disappointed when the carefree Kamon refuses to work there, and instead delegates his duties to her assistant, Taewa. She constantly warns Taewa not to assist her son. When Kamon goes missing after moving to Thongtra's house, she pressures Taewa to look for her son and bring him back. After numerous failed attempts to persuade Kamon to work with her, she decides to be mean to him by removing all his benefits. She hopes that by doing so, he will take his life seriously and manage the hotel alongside her. When Moon asks her to hire Thongtra as his secretary, she calls her in for an interview and likes her right away. She goes to Thongtra's house to get to know her family better, and is surprised to see her son working there. She, however, plays along with him but warns him to end his game as soon as possible. Anand Buninak. As Taewa, assistant of Kamon's mother. He is close to Kamon, and frequently goes clubbing with him. He assists Kamon with his office duties, but his constant assistance has prompted Kamon to rely entirely on him and does not bother to show up for work. Kamon's mother always asks him not to assist Kamon too much, and presses him to advise her son to take his life more seriously and to show up for work because she knows her son listens to him more than to her. Panthi Alafuklin. As Kamlai, servant at Thongtra's house. She claims to be the only servant among many who can tolerate her grumbling boss, Thongmyun, but Thongmyun regards her as a not-so-smart servant. She has a crush on Moon despite knowing he is gay, because she believes Moon, who sometimes shows his manly self, is unsure of his sexual orientation. She seduces Moon and confesses to him but isn't giving up even after he rejects him. She is delighted when she thinks Moon has begun to like her, after Moon's impersonator is nice to her out of politeness. Sweeze. Chapuvanan. Mickey. As Base, ex-boyfriend of Thongtra. He used to date Thongtra while they were studying, but her mother forced him to leave her, because she felt he wasn't wealthy enough for Thongtra. He has been attempting to contact Thongtra ever since, but has been unsuccessful. He is now the owner of a large travel agency, which is the main client of Kamon's hotel. When he runs into Thongtra again, he hopes to win her heart back. Initially, he is afraid of meeting Thongtra's mother, but soon gathers enough courage to visit Thongtra at her house. Unlike in the past, Thongtra's mother is delighted to see him, because he is now a wealthy man. His presence arouses the jealousy of Moon, who worries that Thongtra may accept him again. At the same time, he is jealous of Kamon, the hotel MD, who is getting closer with Thongtra. After learning that he and Kamon's ex-girlfriend, Kay, are on the same boat, he collaborates with her to interfere with Moon and Thongtra's relationship. He has been observing Moon and Kamon whenever he sees them, and suspects they are the same person, but chooses to remain silent. When he expresses his feelings to Thongtra and is rejected, he informs her of Moon's true identity, but she does not believe him. Amarapas Vathanakul. As Kay, ex-girlfriend of Kamon. She ditched Kamon to marry a wealthy but older friend of her father, but the marriage did not last long. As she tries to recover from her failed marriage, and believes that no man will ever love her again, her father reminds her about Kamon, and encourages her to be with him again. When she learns that Kamon is now the MD of a hotel, she becomes even more determined to rekindle their past love. She isn't giving up even after Kamon rejects her advances, because she believes he still loves her. She has been envious and hateful of Thongtra, ever since Thongtra's ex-boyfriend, Base, who is also her friend, informs her that Kamon is interested in Thongtra. She is hurt after failing to win Kamon's heart despite all her efforts, and vows to hurt him in return. She is aware of Kamon's secret and demands a large sum of money from him in exchange of her silence. When Kamon refuses to meet her demand, she retaliates by inflicting unlawful harm on the person he loves, Thongtra, and blaming it on Base. Dilek Thongwatana. As Wywit, father of Kay. After his daughter Kay's divorce, he encourages her to reconcile with Kamon as Kamon is a wealthy man now. He frequently accompanies Kay to meet Kamon at his hotel, while at the same time, seizing the opportunity to broker a shady land deal with his hotel, by exploiting Kay's relationship with Kamon. When Kamon rejects both his daughter, and his land sale proposal, he and his daughter threaten, and use Thongtra to demand large sums of money from Kamon. Pramot. Thien Chakardzlp. Moat. As. Bambi. Sissy Gay and close friend of Thongtra. Natasha Chulamand. Natty. As. Minnie. Close friend of Thongtra. Benjapal Chuyarun. Golf. As. Supersare. A scoundrel trying to deceive Thongtra's family. Kevin Jean Dana. As. Oak. Kamon's chef who disguises as Moan. Rachawat Klibgarn. As. Inspector Tor. Jarawat Waichir Sarunpat. As. Chef Robert. Chef at Kamon's Hotel. Pongfen Pechbo Antun. Louis. As. Dr. Futifong. Thongtra's blind date. Pizza Sooner Eric. As. Jelly. Hired girlfriend of Kamon. Rude Cloud J. Malitrat. As. Hired girlfriend of Kamon. credit to Thai Channel 3. Thank you for watching.